As I sit here, I'm reminded of this old little gray-haired lady. In our small Midwestern town, population hardly 80. I was a young boy then, age just past 10, when we all gathered and rose to our feet when her flag-draped casket came in. I remember the preacher's sentimental words and the reflective, somber tones, and the stories we all had about her life. Looking back, I still feel the chill as Taps was played. At the graveside, the startling rapport of the gunshots, final salute. Then the most emotional of all, the folding of the flag. But what happened next was the most emotional of all when they gave that flag to my dad. You see, my grandmother, the little old gray-haired lady, was a soldier. My father's mother was a soldier. My great-grandfather's daughter, a soldier. She was someone to everyone, but to me, a hero. Always brave and strong, heroic, battle-hardened, and full of love. That tiny gray-haired lady who fought for me.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New
Got
Year.
those calendars out? Here we go. There's mine. Out with the old, in with the new.
I'm going to just use my computer for the calendar because my daughter's the one that loves the calendar, so we're going to have to find her a new calendar. We know how that goes. So
yeah,
at least she knows how to read a calendar. I'll say that.
That's absolutely true. Most kids nowadays don't even know what a calendar is. It's just something that's on the wall.
That's pretty much right.
Or on their phones or their computers or whatever.
I use my computer most of the time because I'll still forget what day it is a lot of times. So, oh crap, it's Tuesday. We got a show to do tonight.
I know. Sorry for the late notices, folks. We've had a heck of a week.
Yeah, Sally's really had a heck of a week. So
I don't know what that was. Something went boom.
I'm surprised there's no fireworks going off in my house. The temperature dropped. It's in the mid 40s here right now. So
The fireworks stand's closed, dude.
Walmart still sells them. You can buy fireworks here at Walmart year round. So,
Oh, hey, Miss Ruth, how you doing? Hey, Dave, how you doing? Hey, Ross,
hey,
Happy
there's
New
Ross.
Year, each and every one of you. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you very much. After New Year's, so I guess it's time to get those New Year's resolutions going.
Get those New Year's resolutions, and we always have to do this the first part of the year. We have to look at that deficit clock to see where we ended up and where we're starting off in debt.
Oh yeah, this is the debt clock here. So let's see let me pull up the debt clock real quick.
Yes,
Just
let's
to
pull that
see-
debt clock up, and we got some funnies for you on that one. I'm gonna tell you.
Oh look, the top
Oh,
of the
look.
Ponzi scheme awards.
No, they can't say that.
Federal
Oh my
Reserve's the winner?
gosh.
Oh wow.
Biggest Ponzi scheme in the world.
Oh yeah. Let's see. Let me
Hey,
remove
Crystal, how you doing?
Hey, Crystal. And yeah, I smell W2's printers running hardcore. I also hear all kinds of other printers like stuff to Israel and number one Ukraine running real hard too. But
Hey, I've already got financial statements from one of my retirement funds I have. And unfortunately, I don't have any taxes to pay on it because they didn't make any money. Big surprise.
I doubt we made any money this year, so neither did 401k or anything else like that. But
Yep.
let's see. It says right now our debt is at $34 trillion plus, which comes out to about 101,000 per citizen, and somehow comes out to 264,000 per taxpayer.
And Chad and I were playing around with this before the show started, and we were looking at each state.
Yeah, because we could pull up the state debt clock too.
So we're going to start out with Chad's state.
My state. So let's look at Florida. So Florida's average debt per citizen is $6,408. Now we have 344,000 unemployed and 2,386,000 food stamp recipients. So our debt to GDP ratio is 10.28%. So
wow,
6,000
that's
debt,
not bad.
Not too bad, no. So 6,000 debt per citizen, 10.2% to debt to GDP ratio. So what state should we pull up next?
Oh, pull up Oklahoma. I got to see where I sit.
Okay, let's look at Oklahoma. Oh, so see, you're lower than me. Y'all have got 4.8 thousand or 4.9 thousand almost per debt. Wow, y'all, how many food stamp recipients did Florida have?
I don't remember.
You don't remember.
That's bad.
724,000 for Oklahoma. Oh, we had 2.4 million almost. So let's see another state. Let's try California.
Oh, I'm scared there.
15,000 debt. Hold on a second, Dave. I'll get to Iowa next. So $15,000 in debt per citizen. with a 10.5% debt to GDP.
You know, you can't trash Oklahoma and Florida when you got numbers like that, California. And I wonder how Gavin Newsom's going to pull off trying to run for president on those numbers.
Yeah, but if you want to, let's just look up something. States with the highest GDP.
Uh-oh.
So gross domestic product. That means, guess what? Without taxes.
Oh, that would be Texas.
Let's see. List of states and territories.
That's my guess anyway. I haven't looked at any of this, folks. So, you know, I might be
I'm just
wrong.
looking this up now. So,
well, pop up Dave's state. Let's see how he's ranking there.
Okay, yeah, let's do Dave's state first. Sorry, Dave. Yeah. Let's check out Iowa. One of the good things about Iowa is
Come
their
on,
numbers
Corn
easy to find.
State.
Oh, we got you beat in Florida and Oklahoma. Maybe not with debt to GDP, but debt per citizen is 7.5 or almost $7.6 thousand per citizen. So,
well, we got Michigan in the house. We got Missouri in the house. Let's see what they rank at.
well, first I want to show you this.
Uh-oh.
So the top GDP states is California, number 1, Texas, number 2, New York, number 3, Florida, number 4, and Illinois, number 5.
How did Illinois rank number 5? They should have been up there between Texas and California.
Well, don't ask me. But they try to claim their high GDP, but they forget to count their debt. So let's go back to this.
Hey, Miss Joanne, how you doing, sugar?
Let's look at another red state like Texas.
Okay, well, let's look at Texas.
Texas is $13,000. We got double digits right along with California with a 17.44% debt to GDP ratio with almost 3.9 million food stamp recipients. Now, Texas is a big state.
And they do have most of the immigrants coming across the border.
Very true. They've got a population of 30,000 people, but 3.856 million people on food stamps. That means that over 10% of their residents are on food stamps.
Wow. That's bad.
That is bad. So then if we look at a place like New York, which I'm sure their numbers are growing even more.
Oh, absolutely. Even though I did hear somewhere they're going to send them back. We'll get to that later.
We'll get to that in a minute. So New York is $21,000 per citizen in debt. And that doesn't even count federally. That is the state's debt.
I can see that. I really
can see that too. Now, since we got Michigan in the house, let's just try out Michigan too. Wow, I did not check out Michigan before this, but theirs is 10,850. So theirs is actually lower in Texas, but the GDP to debt ratio is higher.
Wow.
And they've got 1.5 million on food stamps with a population of nearly 10 million. So theirs will be over 10% as well on food stamps.
All right. Do Missouri. Missouri's in the house.
Let's do some Missouri. I haven't checked Missouri either. Missouri's actually doing pretty good, along with a little bit over 10% on food stamps with 6.2 million almost, with 641,000 on food stamps. Their debt's actually pretty good too, with 8.6 thousand. debt per citizen.
Oklahoma's still number one.
Yep. Out of the ones we checked, I guess
Right
Florida's
now,
number two, so.
we're still number one. We're doing the best. Hey,
Hi,
Miss
Mama.
Hey, Deanna.
That's
How
my
you
mom
doing?
there. She usually goes by D, but yeah. But yeah, that's my mama there. So yeah, we're talking about debt and stuff. So yeah, here's another one that we were going to point out is you see this national debt right here? This is for current national debt, $34 trillion. Okay. This is the predicted debt in 2028, on this day in 2028 at current rates, $45.5 trillion. Over 10 trillion more dollars is expected.
11 trillion more dollars. Really, people? Can we make it that far before our economy collapses?
Can we?
No. No, we can't.
And if you look at this is the current one, $264,090 per taxpayer, $101,000 per citizen is taxpayer debt federally. $323,000 per taxpayer, and $130,000.
That is taxpayers. They're not citizens.
Yes, that is
so
taxpayers.
Therefore, if they keep moving citizens from south of the border into the United States, that number goes down.
And look at these numbers as well down here at the bottom of this little window. 1960, 52% GDP to debt. 1980, 34.74 GDP to debt ratio. 2000, 54.85 to GDP ratio. 2028, 150.92% predicted in 2028.
Ain't that some shit, folks?
Now we can go to now instead with the same numbers from 60 to 2000. Now it's actually at 122% right now.
Do we think our government has a spending problem?
We might think the government has a spending problem. Just maybe. Just maybe. That is absolutely ridiculous. Now, I think part of this thing is trying to get you to invest in gold. I will be honest with you on that. So part of it is probably to get you to invest in gold, which is something that would go
There's only so much gold that people can invest in. I'm telling you, they only make so much of it. It's so hard to find. I'm telling you, go out to a river or a stream and try to find you some.
I don't even think that's how they mine gold anymore. So.
Oh yeah. There's all kinds of people out there that mine it.
I mean, they mine it a lot now through just mass evacuation of land, and then they can.
Well, if you look at the top 2 landholders, top 10 landholders in the United States, they're all out west.
That's true.
California, Oregon, and Washington, which is where most of your gold is coming from.
Yeah, a lot of them do big mining though, and then they could separate the gold from the rest of it. And
Kim is freezing.
Kim is freezing, and Chad is freezing. But I don't get enough internet signal to sit in my shed back here where you see the light comes from to do a show. Well, Kim said she's not freezing. So
hey, we got our YouTube person over there. Back to diversified.
Right.
Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome. So I don't know really how we can stop a lot of this, plus China buying up on all our land, but
look, Missouri and Arkansas and Texas and Florida are putting the ixnay on China's snay bye.
Yes, they are. And Missouri actually made another step towards that very recently, like this last week.
So I will, right before we're pulling that video up, I will give a great big huge giant shout out to Sarah Sanders Huckabee. You go, girl. You the boss. You started it.
I think Texas did it first, but anyway.
No, Sarah did it last year.
There's tricks around it for stuff, and there was this one show I was watching that was a Chinese guy in Texas, and he owned 2 farms or something like that, and he was saying pretty much if you got the money, you can still get around it. But I know old Don Coleon there likes talking about Smithfield, so this report here has something to do with Smithfield as well, and another way how they can get around it, but Missouri's trying to stop that because all Smithfield did was
change the name of the investor.
Change the name. So here we go. Let's play this. I'm going to turn my camera off so I don't lose internet connection, but you're welcome to stay with your camera on there, Sally.
I may have a connection here in a minute. No, I'm good. Somebody's backing in next to me, and I get kind of nervous.
Oh, I don't blame you. That's okay. Excuse me.
Roll that beautiful beam footage.
Lawmakers want to limit how much agricultural land is.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do.
Instant replay, sir.
Let's try that a second time. My fingers are cold. I've got my fingerless gloves on, or whatever you want to call them, and my fingers are still cold. So I'm clicking the wrong buttons sometimes. So give me a break.
Oh my goodness.
Here we go again.
How much agricultural land is foreignly owned? Missouri Chief Capitol Bureau reporter Emily Manley explains how the legislation would pump the brakes on any foreign entity acquiring any more farmland.
About 0.3 of the state's farmland is foreign owned. A bill moving forward here in Jefferson City would not only reduce the amount of land a foreign entity could own, but it would also prohibit any future sale, which some say is unfair to landowners.
We're going to, as a state, decide what private businesses can be sold to what entity.
Months after a Chinese spy balloon traversed Missouri, lawmakers want to put an end to selling off farmland to those overseas.
And yes, this is a property rights issue because we're protecting Missouri's property.
Last month, the House passed its own version of limiting how much land is foreignly owned. The bill also prohibited 5 countries, including China, from buying any more.
There's already a template in place at the federal government, but we want to make sure that here in the state of Missouri, we have control of that as well.
The bipartisan legislation is sponsored by Republicans, the political party that 10 years ago overrode Governor Nixon's veto to allow foreign ownership of farmland.
Food insecurity is a real thing, and I think starting with making sure that Missouri farmers get first priority on our land is definitely what we should be talking about.
When the Senate took up the House's bill this week, making changes to restrict any foreign entity from acquiring farmland moving forward.
Would you be okay with Nazi Germany buying the entire?
Some argued this takes away personal property rights.
A foreign entity that wants to come in and buy farmland in this state
So
has to go to private property owners and say, will you sell your property to me?
So you're okay
and what
with
we're doing here right now is saying we're going to take that decision away from you.
Some countries with the biggest ownership of land in Missouri include China with more than 42,000 acres, New Zealand with 16,000, and Spain with 13,000. Nearly all of China's land goes to Murphy Brown of Missouri LLC, formerly Smithfield Foods, a major hog production company. But this legislation would require countries to report to the Secretary of State and the Attorney General.
We are going to put prohibitions of who in the world are we going to sell to? Are we going to sell to Osama bin Laden?
Under the bill, land already owned by a foreign entity would be grandfathered in. Current state law says that only 1% of Missouri's farmland can be owned by a foreign firm. This would reduce that down to 0.5%. The bill now heads back to the House. Reporting from Missouri Capitol Bureau, I'm Emily Manley.
And there you have it, folks. There you have it. Finally, these governors are starting to stand up and say, no, China, you're not going to own our property. You're not going to take over our farms. We're going to control what happens in our state.
I think they should have done that, started doing that a long time ago. So,
well,
my
we
screen's
didn't.
still messing up something.
Well, they didn't anticipate China coming in and buying up so much property so close to our military bases so that they could monitor what's going on. And it's not just happening here in Missouri, it's happening everywhere. North Dakota, South Dakota, California, Kansas. Wherever there's a major military base, that's where they're buying property up close to it. Within a 20-mile radius.
And this is something that came out back in, hey, Bad Intro, how are you doing today?
Hey, Bad Intro.
He's going to have to put up a freaking yeehaw on here for me. So, glad you're doing all right, man. He made it through Christmas. I don't think I've talked to him since New Year's, but here it even says foreign ownership of U.S. farmland probed at U.S. State or U.S. Senate hearing. And this was from September 23rd. And down here, it gives the whole thing, and it lost the highlighted part that, okay, mouse.
Gotta love technology, Mr. IT.
Yeah. And it says foreign ownership of land, of U.S. land is currently restricted in 24 states, including Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Idaho, Indiana, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Montana, Nebraska, New York, Ohio, Oklahoma, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, South Dakota. It doesn't say Texas on here. Tennessee, Utah, Virginia, and Wisconsin. So then it says 11 of these states enacted foreign ownership laws during the 2023 legislative session, including, or according to the National Agricultural Law Center, those include Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Ohio or Idaho, Louisiana, Montana, North Dakota, Ohio, Tennessee, Utah, and Virginia. So this is starting to spread around a lot more. That
remember, that's only 24 states. We got 50 of them.
Mm-hmm. Not all of them might have laws like that, but
Well, those are the states that are finally waking up, and they're starting to stand their ground and take back their own states' rights.
Exactly.
And speaking of starting the new year off right, here's some news. Senator Mendez officially charged. That's about a year too late, but we'll go with it.
Well, most of these are a little bit too late. That's why I don't think Obama has too much to get worried about getting impeached, is because by the time they'll do anything about it would be a few years too late. So,
well, back in I believe it was 2017, there was 35 indictments, 35,000 indictments that was formed. So, it was slowly but surely we're bringing them down. And most of them have already graciously and very quietly left office.
Oh, I had another video about that I wanted to get people's opinions on. This is one I didn't show you because I forgot about it. But let's see.
I like new stuff anyway. It's a new year. Let's do it.
Let's see if I can even pull it up.
Let's get everybody's opinion on this one.
I do, and this is something that I really do wonder about, because do you think this is a new Florida law, and it says that elected officials quit across the state in light of new law?
Uh-oh.
So I really would like to know if it'll play. I don't have any load. Maybe it just doesn't want me showing this live.
Is that more of that shadow banding we're having going on?
Oh yeah, this is even from Fox 3511, so it shouldn't be even shadow
Oh,
banning.
man. Here we go. We really will be shadow banned.
Well, I don't know.
That's okay.
Some of these local Fox
I
stations can be
like
pretty
stepping
bad
on
too.
government toes.
So it says elected officials are resigning or quitting across the state in light of new law. Now, do you think this is personal invasion with what's been going on? Or do you think this should be normal? Now, I'm kind of split decision on this, but let's go with this.
All across the state are abruptly resigning before the new year. We're talking about the vice mayor in Naples, 4 city council members in St. Pete Beach, including the vice mayor, 4 council members in Bel Air Beach, the mayor and a council member in Denellen, 2 city commissioners in Daytona Beach Shores, and there are even more, way too many to list. Fox 35's Chris Lindsay is joining us live from Daytona Beach Shores tonight. So Chris, this is all over a new law that's about to go into effect.
Yes, starting January 1st, elected officials will have to fill out Form 6. It discloses all of their financial information. And all over the state of Florida, officials are stepping down because they believe that form is an invasion of privacy.
We don't get a dime for what we do here. We do this for the love of our community.
Bel Air Beach Mayor Dave Gaddis says 4 of his 5 council members have resigned ahead of the new year, all because of a new form they will have to fill out starting January 1st. It requires them to share their net worth and the dollar amount of every asset they own over $1,000. The goal, to achieve transparency and identify conflicts of interest.
Why did it suddenly have to become so invasive? We were already reporting our financial situation. But now they want it so granular that it almost looks like an attack on home rule and an attack on small municipalities.
In Daytona Beach Shores, 2 commissioners have
Bullshit.
Just 3 left until the city can fill the empty seats in March. Commissioner Richard Bryan says he was planning to resign for other reasons.
As I'm working on an extremely important public health effort.
But the news of this new law sped up his decision.
I think it will have the effect of significantly reducing the number of qualified people who are willing to run for local office. I mean, your net worth doesn't have anything to do with the interest.
I reached out to Lake Mary State Senator Jason Brodeur, who sponsored the new law, which the governor signed back in May. He issued a statement which partially reads, "In a city, you can spend tens of millions of dollars with as little as 3 votes. Taxpayers deserve transparency. If a simple disclosure that hundreds of other elected officials already do makes someone quit, then voters should be glad." And another city councilor who stepped down here in Daytona Beach Shores just walked up a couple of moments ago. He didn't want to be on camera, but he said that it is indeed an invasion of his privacy. He says that
bullshit,
and his tenure is over at midnight tonight. Reporting live.
I call bullshit. I think anybody who runs for a public position that does anything to do with financials needs to be held accountable and have absolute disclosure on everything they currently own, so that when they get in there, they can't be getting their hands palmed, greased. You're muted. Hit the mute button, dude. Here we go again, Mr.
I do
IT.
agree with that. I do see where they could see it as an invasion of privacy. But then again, I also see where a lot of these people get complete kickbacks. It might be gifts, if they could call it that, or it might be
They're
just
not gifts. They're bona fide payoffs.
Oh yeah,
for a favor.
definitely. But another thing I've seen a lot of is where they kind of like a certain administration that we currently have, to where they're getting payoffs from contracts that from people that they more, I mean, I won't even call them shell companies. They might be totally legit companies running, and say you get the contract for this beach patrol or something like that. Because, you know, all of this, especially in Florida, they contract all kinds of stuff out because it's better for a contractor to do it than it is for.
Well, when people go into political office, especially council members, they're privy to information that is private and confidential about development plans that they could go in, they could buy the property, double their damn investment when they sell to the contractors. You know, that's the same thing as insider trading. You know, like, oh hell, what was that chick that went to jail? No. The famous star. What was her name?
Martha Stewart.
Martha Stewart. She went to jail for insider trading. But, you know, people like Nancy Pelosi don't get shit done to them. They go up there, broke ass people just like us, 5-6 figure income, and they come out with 7 and 8 figure incomes. They come out millionaires. They're getting their hands pumped, and there's more money being traded, and people are going into politics to get rich. When the mayor stood up there and said he don't make 1 penny off of it, or council member or whatever he was, he's lying.
He is lying. How else are you going to work at supposedly that's a full-time job? How are you going to work as a full-time job?
If that's a full-time job, you got to get paid.
Yeah.
It's in the city budget.
Right.
So he stood right there on camera and lied. If he's lying about that, what else is he going to lie about?
And it was a Republican that wrote it, so I don't know. Can't tell you. I noticed with the guy that they were talking about made the bill, they made dang sure to point out that he was a Republican. So I don't know how many of those people quitting are Republican or Democrats, or I know on the city council, a lot of times you don't have to be either one. You can just go as a council member. Same thing with school board. I don't even know if it's allowed at school boards
anymore. Maybe he donates his pay. I don't think so. Only Donald Trump is the only politician I've ever seen who's donated all of his income from being a president to worthy charities.
Actually, Rick Scott, our senator, donated all his governor paychecks when he was governor to charities as well. So,
well, he needs to be publicized for it. Thank you for that public service announcement. Well, thank you for that public service announcement.
So,
but I'm going to tell you, he's not donating his time. Nobody donates their time for that. They get paid. Even in small towns, it might not be, but $100, $150 a month, you know, just to show up for a meeting on the school board of education.
Yep. I mean,
but it's something. They don't do it pro bono.
No, they don't do it pro bono. No.
You don't go into politics for that.
Small communities, it might be like a true, thing like that. But Daytona Beach Shores is down there by Daytona. So Daytona's all broke up into, they make a lot of their money off of
spring breakers.
Well, Daytona got kind of ruined for spring breakers, but just for I'm not trying to think of, Sally. Tourism.
I don't know. I have no clue.
Because if you look at Daytona has got something going on there almost year round. This time of year especially, they're having weekend stuff going on there. They used to make their money off Girls Gone Wild commercials. Daytona kind of backed off.
Leave it to Don Callejon.
Yeah, because like Bike Week used to be really rough. Spring break used to be one of the crazy times in Florida and everything else like that. Now it's become more of a family thing. because you can take
Well,
your
I
kids
don't
to
know that
biking.
it's become a family thing, but you know, I know people's wherever there's a Sturgis, there's a bike week.
Yeah, well, we
There's
have
a
like
bike
3
run.
of them here. We got bike week,
But
regular bike week. We got Biketoberfest. I mean,
but Daytona is the kickoff for the bike runs.
and plus you can ride a bike in the wintertime in Florida. So
Unless you're sitting outside with Chad. Because he will freeze you.
it's warmer in Daytona than it is in Jacksonville. So, but anyway, I could show you some videos I've seen from Bike Week. So, and they're still very friendly.
It's actually about 20 degrees warmer where I'm at than where Chad is right now. So
the other night I was out here and it was warmer in New York City and Seattle. In fact, it's warmer. Well, the sun hasn't gone all the way down in Seattle, so I'll give them credit
crazy.
for that. But
That's crazy. That's absolutely insane.
it's that climate change.
Oh yeah, like they're going to blame that earthquake in Japan on climate change.
Yeah, that's something that's I hate to tell them this as far as earthquakes go, but China is in the middle of a plate tectonics or colliding plates. The whole reason why Japan is there. So
Well,
you're gonna have earthquakes there.
The plates are buckling and popping.
In fact, I'll even share this real quick before I go on to the video, which is a thing I've got a thing from the
and I'm going to tell you, I mean, if you've never been in an earthquake, it's kind of mind-boggling.
So if you look at the U.S. and the earthquakes that have happened recently, 3 of them are across Texas.
Oh, those are fracking quakes.
More than likely, yes. So all of them are like 2.7, 2.5. There's one over here in California, which they actually draw the red line for where the plates are or where the faults are. And
oh, yeah, that's out Midland, Odessa.
Yeah, definitely fracking.
Definitely fracking.
Then
A lot
if
of
you
wells
look at
out
the world, there is the red dots are the big ones that have happened recently, real recently. So then you look down here in the Philippines, a 5.3, still in the Philippines, a 5.0. This one happened at 11. Well, I can't tell with it's UTC time, so 11:30. So I really don't know when that one happened, but it was recent, probably 8:30 my time. So, I mean, they act like these earthquakes are something new, but they're not. So there's always tons of earthquakes. Then we can go up to Japan, where the big one happened. It's already off the time, but they're still having tons of quakes that are 5-pointers, 4.9,
Yeah, the
4.4
aftershocks.
to 4.8. The aftershocks, exactly. So it's not like the earthquakes have stopped there or anything, but one of the videos we were going to show you was of this office building. And this is in Japan as the earthquake was happening. My monitors would have already fallen off those.
Yep.
And there it goes, some of the monitors. This video was only 58 seconds long.
I only say those guys standing up.
Well, I will say when it comes to earthquake, Japan definitely has the best technology as far as I can tell for when it comes to earthquakes. Of course, they've been having them for centuries,
Yep.
Or millennia, I guess you'd say, not centuries. Millennia.
Even, thanks for that info, Don Leon. Yellowstone has 15 to 2,500 every year, and it's a super volcano. Yeah, the caldera they thought was one way is actually another way, so it's like 30 miles across.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's
all the dormant volcanoes over there are starting to rumble awake. I mean, it's just a matter of time before we have another Mount St. Helens go off.
well, if we had Mount St. Helens, wouldn't be nothing like if Yellowstone went off. I'll say that. But
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
Yellowstone,
that could. Who knows when that thing really went off the last time? Because there's been several summers that we didn't have a summer here in the United States, and it could have been from the ash fallout from a volcano eruption.
well,
It's
and
just
that's another
nobody was
thing.
around to record it.
People don't realize how many volcano eruptions there constantly are either. And while everybody was worried about that one in Iceland going off, I track a lot of aircraft stuff, like I've said before. So right now, on my little aircraft radar page that I always watch, which is Flight Radar 22, all of these are volcano eruptions, or volcano warning areas.
Wow.
All across the Pacific Rim.
That's
So
around the Ring of Fire there.
Oh yeah. And see, it kind of, if you zoom in on it, it'll show you the areas that you're not supposed to be flying planes at, which isn't that large, but it's still ash clouds that they're telling you. That's in Mexico.
That's Guatemala.
This is down in Guatemala. That one's not that big, but you can see this one has a pretty fair range. And then if you zoom out a lot, you can see they're all on the western side of
the
South America,
Ecuador, Argentina, Brazil, and Chile.
Right by where the Philippines, where it was picking up all those earthquakes down here in Indonesia and stuff. You can see they've also got warnings out for all of that. Even move up.
And the thing about it is, when you see all these volcano warnings, no flight warnings, that's also where tsunamis can form, because sometimes you have an underwater eruption and it causes a huge tsunami.
Yeah.
It only takes like 10 or 12 hours for a wave to travel across the ocean to hit our coast. So, those are things that we need to be, kind of vigilant on.
Well, California's got our West Coast is a lot more dangerous than our East Coast is as far as stuff like that goes, because we've actually got in between the U.S. and Europe and Africa, and then we actually have a very quiet mid-ocean ridge that does that work. So it's actually very quiet. So,
and I want to tell you, folks, if you want to learn about, these quakes, there's a YouTuber called Dutch Sins. I've been following him since, I believe I told Chad, about 2008 or 2009. And he issues a 72-hour earthquake alerts for certain regions. And he pinned Japan's right on the dot within 48 hours of predicting it. But I'm going to tell you, he has absolutely ticked off USGS to the point that they're trying to put him in jail because he's not being quiet about what he does. And they are so dumb, they don't want to listen to him so he can teach them what he has learned so that we can save lives.
Well, that's happened a few times, I've noticed. So
he's definitely being shadow banned.
This is one I haven't watched yet, but it's just a video of, it's only 2 minutes of, it says One India English. So I'm guessing this is from India talking about Japan, but it's also saying that this earthquake shifted land by 1.3 meters. So that's, let's see. Joe put up here some serious physics I follow, especially one particular is worried about something in 2025. So I
can see that happening. The way things are shaking up.
But here's the one from India. This is from
Look at that tsunami.
In the aftermath of Japan's the earthquake rescue efforts are in full swing as aftershocks continue to pose challenges for rescuers racing against time. The 7.6 magnitude earthquake struck Ishikawa Prefecture on Honshu, claiming at least 48 lives and causing widespread destruction. Triggering tsunami waves over a meter high, the quake's impact is further highlighted by reports from Japan's Geospatial Information Authority, suggesting that the trembler may have shifted land in the Noto region by up to 1.3 meters to the west. Preliminary data from an observation point in Wajima city revealed significant land shifts following the powerful earthquake in Ishikawa. The largest shift, approximately 1.3 meters to the west, occurred in Wajima, while Anamizu town experienced a westward movement of about 1 meter, and Suzu city saw an 80 centimeter shift. Additional observations indicate movements in Nanao City, Toyama, Niigata, and the Kanto Koshin region. These findings underscore the seismic impact on the landscape, emphasizing the scale of the geological changes triggered by the earthquake. With the current death toll standing at 48 and expectations of it rising, rescue operations are ongoing in the aftermath of Japan's devastating earthquake. Prime Minister Fumio Kishida highlighted the extensive damage with casualties, building collapses, and fires, adding urgency to the search and rescue efforts. In Wajima, nearly 33,000 households faced power outages as temperatures dropped, while across the country many cities were grappling with lack of running water. Multiple aftershocks, including a 5.6 magnitude tremor, continued to shake the region, prompting national broadcaster NHK to provide special coverage. Although waves over 1.2 meters hit Wajima and smaller tsunamis were reported elsewhere, subsequent assessments led to the lifting of tsunami warnings. The situation remains fluid as Japan navigates through the aftermath of this tragic.
Wow.
Now that tsunami was bad, but it wasn't as bad as it was with Fukushima and
this is
Eastern
true.
Japan whenever they got hit. In fact, it probably wasn't as bad as some of them in India's got before. But and Joe, I've heard Yellowstone is overdue. I've heard it's way overdue before, but it might be overdue from the studies I've seen on it. It might be way overdue for our lifetime, our 100 years at a time lifetime. But as far as a lot of it goes, it's kind of in the middle. And also some of the studies I've seen is that in the past, Yellowstone didn't vent the way it does now. Like you didn't have all the geysers and the warm wells and stuff like that in Yellowstone before. Of course, this is all whenever you start looking at scientific studies, because I like watching about stuff like that. And so I've heard it could be both ways. So, hey, Susie, how are you doing?
Hey, Susie. Well, I have a theory about why Yellowstone has not gone off yet. I really do. And it's a theoretical thing that I've been thinking about for a long time. You know, back in the day, you know, every 70,000 years, Yellowstone would pop off because of the plate tectonics shifting and stuff like that. Well, in the last 150 years, we have started drilling into the frack and started fracking and hitting all these gas and oil pockets that would slip down in there to cause a huge acid indigestion from Mother Earth. We're taking it out, which is increasing the gap for an eruption. Because there's a lot of drilling up in there.
Right. You very well could be right about that, but I still think as far as places like Yellowstone or huge volcanoes, I don't think our influence would really matter. You know, we can drill down and cause earthquakes, but we couldn't stop them.
Well, just like these fracking quakes are old wells that have gone dry that they
Yeah.
couldn't get anything else out of, so they're pumping the salt water back into the earth.
Right.
So when they over pump it, it makes the plate pop. So
Yeah,
you
well,
get
that's what
these
they're
little
trying to
one
do.
or two
That's
level
what they're trying to
earthquakes.
do. And it's kind
Well,
of the
no, they're
same.
not trying to do it on purpose. I promise
Well,
you,
they're trying
because
to
they
frack
got in
it.
trouble.
So,
Well, they're trying to frack and get the
yeah,
oil
so
and the
they're trying
sand
to,
out of there, but they're not intentionally trying to overfill it to make it
right.
pop,
And that's kind of,
because they got in huge trouble in Arkansas over that.
my
They
cat's
did.
going crazy out here. That's kind of what I was saying about how the North American plate on the eastern side, that's how a lot of our earthquakes are caused over here, is because the African plate used to be sitting on top of us. So as the mid-ocean ridge grew, whereas kind of like California is now, to where it's got a plate rubbing up on top of it and against it, which is causing the Rocky Mountains. The mountains on the western or the eastern side, the Appalachians, used to be like the Rocky Mountains. And then the U.S. was on, or Africa was on top of the U.S. plate. So as the mid-ocean ridge opened up and started spreading them apart, now the U.S. plate is popping back up from not having the African continent's weight on it anymore.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, Kimberly.
Hey, Kimberly. How's it going? And we're kind of running out of our hour already, so we had a couple more videos to play. So
Well, let's just play them on, sir. We
I'll
got
play 'em
time.
on.
We
This
missed
is-
a show or two. Let's
this
start
is-
off a good year.
Well, this isn't starting off a good year on here, but they did all survive, so I guess it would be a good year. So this is one that popped up earlier on. I still would fly planes. I'd still go plane spotting and everything else. But this is at Heathrow. Some of y'all might have seen it. A very rough landing, I'll put it out like this. And Heathrow is supposed to be one of the worst airports to land at. So,
Oh, yeah. I would never fly if a plane landed like this. I promise you. Never.
So let's see how this American Airlines handles this landing.
American 134 from Los Angeles. CPR 1234. Thank you. Look at the vortex coming off the wings, folks, off the flat tips. That vortex. Might hear that vortex crashing down on me. Listen to it. It's over the top of me now. Oh! 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 Stop it! Oh, 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 stop that. Stop that. Oh my God.
Never,
mate.
never, ever.
Now you know. Well, flip.
No?
You're not by yourself, Bad Intro. I promise you.
Yeah, I'd be kind of worried about that too. I'd be kind of
Not
worried
by
about
yourself. Not by yourself. We would have a massive stream of poop everywhere from every seat. No, I would not fly
man.
doing that. There's
No?
no way.
Now, Susie says she would too.
Ooh, no,
So-
no, 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 no.
Dion
I can
says
see
he
them
would've-
folks having it now. You're insane. You're insane, Don Leon.
I agree. So I'm
Never.
gonna bring things a little closer to home now. Sorry, folks, that we should have ended with the plane instead of on this, but here is migrant buses finding loopholes in Mayor Adams' executive order, busing migrants. Kimberly, you interrupted me, but yes, that is something that I was thinking of.
Can't wait to see it. We're going to do a deep dive on that one.
Yeah, maybe not tonight, but that should be part of next week's show, is diving into Epstein's
Clinton
list. I wish,
36 trips to Epstein Islands. Now we know the truth behind the blue dress.
Susie says Chris would say, I can't get a Can't get
Can't
a ride like that at an amusement park. No, I don't think I'd want to be.
There's no way in hell I'd want one of those.
And
No.
that intro says we can only hope to see Epstein's list.
We're going to see it. We were hoping to see all of the Hunter Biden stuff. They come out with a website on it. I can't wait to see Epstein's black book and all his info.
Me either. But let's watch about some migrant buses coming into New York. Not New York City, but New York, the sanctuary state.
We love you too, Joe.
Migrants in several New Jersey towns. Edison Mayor Sam Joshi vowing to return the asylum seekers to the U.S.-Mexico border.
His office says so far 2 buses arrived in Edison and they were asked to leave. Mayor Joshi.
Wait a minute. What'd you say you're going to do with them? You're going to return them to the Mexican border?
Aha!
Well, wait a minute now.
Oh, wait a minute. Texas is not supposed to be able to do that. Arizona is not supposed to be able to do that. New Mexico and California can't do that. But New York can?
Now New York is going to try to return them to the Mexican border.
Good luck, New York.
So y'all were all for them before you started getting them. And just think, y'all are talking to getting thousands a month, and Texas got over 30,000 in about 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
So
12,000 people in one day. New
I am
record.
going to play some videos after this one of some friends of mine that are actually at the border that they sent to me. It's called the Texas Independence Project, but I'll go ahead and play this video first.
Jones just now. Thanks so much for joining us.
Happy to be here.
So were you given any notice that these buses will be coming to Edison?
We were told, we saw from Governor Abbott and what he was doing, we were made aware that there were buses going throughout the whole country in various cities. And when that happened, we've had buses dropped off at a previous time. So we assumed that we needed to be prepared this time.
Yeah.
Right. So to walk us through the reaction in town to your decision. Obviously, basically, this is just a situation where everyone's kind of kicking the can down the road. There's no nationalized plan to deal with immigration. So this is what we're getting now as a result of these people being bused here.
Yes. There's been widespread support since I've made my statements and my comments. And Edison, as you know, is has about 45% of the population is of an immigrant community, first generation, and we're very proud of that.
Yourself included, right?
Absolutely.
And I see these buses all the time.
And, the majority of my friends and many of the people that I hang out with, spend a lot of time with, are immigrants, and they support this decision.
Yeah, but I mean, you've been very outspoken in social media that you support legal immigration.
Yes. I absolutely support legal immigration. I can't be any more clear than that. And, this is an issue that needs to be handled on a national level, on a federal level, not falling on the doorsteps of mayors.
Right. And regardless of how you feel about the initial move of Texas to send them up here, do you think it's in any way forcing us closer to getting some sort of comprehensive nationwide immigration plan to deal with this?
I would hope so. I would certainly hope so. And we will continue to bring this to the attention of whomever we can.
When the buses arrive, do you know how many migrants are staying in Edison? Are they taking a train and then going back to New York City? Do you have any numbers on that?
So far, none. What happened was there was a bus that came to Edison, and they made us stop thinking that we didn't know what their intention was at the time. And when they stopped in Edison, our officer reached out to the representative that came off the bus, and they then indicated at that time that they wanted to go to New York City. Our Edison train station does not operate a 24-hour, is not 24/7. So at that point, our officers asked several questions. Interaction lasted about 30 minutes, and then they took a phone call, decided that they didn't want to be there. They actually ended up leaving altogether.
Yeah. What sort of heads up do you get? When does that come? Who does it come from? When a bus is heading your way?
Isn't it just amazing? They were all for being sanctuary cities so they could get all that government funding. But now that they get the people that they're supposed to be using that money for, they don't want them.
They don't want them, yeah. And
really, people?
My mom said, I can guarantee Biden will do nothing. Oh, Biden did something. He wrote up a new package bill for foreign nations and stuff. It just included the parts with the border in Texas, or the border in the U.S. also included Ukraine and Israel, mainly Ukraine.
Yeah,
So,
mainly Ukraine. Their last money, supposedly. We've heard that bullshit line before.
so here's another video that I got, and this is from Texas Independence Project. I got permission to use this from the rightful owner. So, New York advertises sanctuary cities. So why are they surprised when they are inundated? Yes, exactly. That's what we all want to know.
Yep.
And Kimberly Gallard says a 17-year-old Mexican girl was hit by a big truck at 3 a.m. a few months ago. She said they later laid down in the road. Trucker thought she was a deer. Gabriella Martin and I spoke to her dad, so sad, near the gas station with me. Well, since you're talking about that and sad stuff, I am going to show one more thing first. And this was something that she got, I don't know how you would call it, non-recognized without her name being recognized. I'll put it that way. And this is kind of sad too. Sorry, I had something else already, but y'all distracted me.
We do that quite well.
Yeah, you do. Y'all do.
But we love each and every one of you for all your comments.
So this is a story that says this is Biden border and trafficking issue. This is a 7-day-old baby. She was born in Eagle Pass, so that makes her an American. Because of that, the parents and the baby were not given shelter. They were left on the side of 7,000 San Pedro. A few cars of thieves tried to take the baby and the oldest boy, 4 years old, but a couple of American patriots stopped that. And it's signs down here bottom. This is the guy you like so much, anyone but Trump, you know. And this is a little baby they found on the side of the road. And it actually was some friends of mine that found the baby, and they are the American patriots that they are talking about.
Sad. That's sad that they're stealing children so they can traffic them back across the border so they can put them in the arms of a stranger to get them across the border.
Very sad.
They're sick.
So here's another video that the Texas Independence Project made.
And that's what tortures me.
Again, we are at the San Antonio Migrant Resource Center, and everything about this is absolutely questionable. People are getting out of a trunk of a car. They're carrying alcohol. They're drinking alcohol. You can smell the alcohol when we approached here. Extra cans in a bag. In front of the Migrant Resource Center, there is cops standing right across the street in that white pop-up tent. To the right, there is a police vehicle, and they're watching this. If it was you and me, as an average American or a Texan, would we get in trouble for this? This facility was behind the San Antonio airport, and this is where they were holding the illegals. While y'all were sitting there waiting to get on your planes, this is what was holding you up. This was the priority. What scares me in this is they're all majority men. There are women and children there, but outside the facility, there was no security. I do notice every time we pull out the cameras, there seems to be always a group of people who group up and get on their cell phones. So I find this very normal even at the Migrant Resource Center and here. A very suspicious activity.
So this
How
is
you like
the
that,
Texas,
folks?
exactly.
How you
You
like
know,
that?
this is from the Texas Independence Project. I know they are actively on the border. I can assure you of that. It is more than one. So if you want to donate to them or even go down there and help them is what they really want. But I know my friends that helped make that video, they have been down there for like the last 2 weeks. They are not from the area, or they are from the Houston area that are not even from this area. I guess you call it the border area.
And
So,
those who are longtime listeners, if you listen to the voice, you'll know who it is. You're fans also of hers and him.
More than likely.
More than likely. Big
So
shout
here's
out
another-
to you.
Here's a video she sent me a while back, or not a while back, when it first started. So, and I don't mean to leave on a
Keep on
negative.
moving, and that's what tortures me.
Here in Eagle Pass.
The real truth the media is not covering.
A growing humanitarian crisis at the southern border.
They can shut down the checkpoints for today.
I think there could be tens of thousands traveling from Mexico. Just here in Eagle Pass alone, hundreds are arriving with every freight train. With those migrants telling me thousands more.
Look at that, folks.
At this moment, the crisis at the southern U.S. border is growing.
Let's walk it across.
Look at all those people. That's from one day.
That video was shot the 18th day of December. 12,000 people crossed our border that day in that one area. And you want to know the real sidekick about it? It's being reported to us that there is a preacher who is telling people that he has been told by God to lead them to America. He's got at least 120,000 more people headed this way.
Yep, I've heard that too. And Kimberly, I have seen JLR investigations. He has been putting up videos all the time. I know the couple that I'm talking about and the group they're talking about, they're actually out there not just trying to video it. They're doing a lot of rescuing too. She told me some sad stories about what they're doing, how the cartel's just pretty much doing like that baby and just coming up to the side of the road and coming up to him and picking him up. And like that, for instance, since that baby was born in America, they wouldn't give him shelter, you know, and
yes, Kimberly, we have heard about that. We have showed videos of them jumping off of the ships as they beach in shallow water and swimming and running to the beach.
Mm-hmm. And yep, bad intro. People will believe any wackadoodle at all this time. So, and then I hate to keep showing these videos, but here's another one that she sent me. Go ahead, Sally.
This is the way it's going, folks. This is the way we ended 2023.
Yeah, so we were trying to talk about something good at the Christmas time and last show right before New Year's. So sorry to make this one so downing at the very end of it, but here we go.
This is a good thing.
And they're not able to right now, but they will be soon. I've also heard some bad things about the law enforcement doing stuff too, but now you're not going to play.
And the battle over immigration at the U.S. border with Mexico continues, and one state is not waiting for Congress or the Biden administration to act. Texas has a new law that allows the state to arrest people suspected of crossing the border illegally.
They've separated the men and the women and are herding them all like cattle. Now, I don't see the buses that were here a couple of weeks ago. But I've noticed that they've got cases of water over there.
Walking up here, you can smell the feces.
Yeah, this stinks is horrible. So sanitation is very poor over here. They're extreme conditions right now.
Battle over the border with the Biden administration. The Republican governor has signed a law that allows local and state law enforcement to arrest migrants they suspect crossed into the country illegally.
Morning in Texas, a new law there that would give state and local police the power to arrest migrants is still coming under fire.
There you have it, folks. These are videos that the media are not showing.
Exactly.
These are the real things that they don't want you to see. But we've got the inside sources down there who are doing the videos and getting them to us so that we can get them out to you.
I mean, it's
this is what our new year is going to look like. You know, everybody, you know, this is the time of year we make, you know, New Year's resolutions. You know, we're going to start putting this information out so that people will actually know what's really going on.
Right. And they're more than just YouTubers, I guess you could say. They're definitely ones that are getting down into the fight.
They are right in the middle of it.
I know one of the places they were staying at ended up burning down, and they had to go to another place. And I think they said it was electrical fire, which wouldn't surprise me with it being down there and cold. So, but like I said, I hate to go through all these videos right before our show ends, but here's another one we got.
It's a good way to start out the new year.
Sure.
People keep a moving, and that's what tortures me.
My goal is to inspire action to safeguard the lives of migrant children, including the staggering 85,000 that are missing. Today, children will work overnight shifts at slaughterhouses, factories, restaurants to pay their debts to smugglers and traffickers. Today, children will be sold for sex. Today, children will call a hotline to report they are being abused, neglected, and trafficked.
I saw human trafficking before, but I never saw such an explosion of it going on as well. So it's about the safety and security of our country. At least a third of the young ladies coming across the border have been sexually abused.
So instead of doing the bus thing like they were doing a couple of weeks ago, they're bringing them up here to this company. This company is then busing them out of here and transporting them.
So it's human trafficking. Right?
It's human trafficking.
She's right
out in the front where everyone can see it.
Human trafficking with an LLC.
Yes. Yes.
And Kimberly is absolutely correct. That number is up to over 100,000 misplaced, lost children.
Yeah. I mean,
it was at 85,000. It's over 100,000 now. How does our government lose 100,000 children?
I guess the way they lose everything, you know.
It's just like the Pentagon losing $3 billion. Can't account for it.
Yeah, we don't know what happened to it. So this is the last one that they sent me. And this is probably one of the worst ones that I've seen.
This is a tough one. If you've got tender eyes and ears, you may want to click off.
Right.
But if you want to know the truth, stay with us.
All right. Yeah. Here we go. Maybe.
Those people keep a moving, and that's what tortures me.
The trafficking of fentanyl and other synthetic opioids into the United States has become a national security emergency.
What makes it so easy to smuggle?
The cartels find ways to intimidate migrants and find ways to illegally have them transport that narcotic.
But Border Patrol leaves the gate open, and they just and they're having to always replace the concertina wire on their fence. You come out here sometimes, and we'll see clothes hanging.
This is a can of food that is given to the children and adults that are traveling across the border through this area. Most people think this is tuna, but it's in fact a can of catfish. This is a rape kit. This is what the cartels use to protect themselves from dirt and debris as they commit these heinous acts against women and children that they're traveling across the border, and they make them carry this across the border.
Sam, you
And
might
we-
recognize those names or those voices. So
Yeah, you might recognize them. But you know, our hats off to everybody who's doing the Texas Border Project. We appreciate all your sacrifice and your hard work, and thank you for sharing these videos with us so that we
Very
can
much
get it
so.
out to everybody.
I'm definitely trying to do that. So
And welcome, Sam. I haven't ever seen you on here before. Welcome to the show.
thanks for joining tonight, Sam. Sam's one of part of the Logbooks friends, and I'm friends with him. He posts a lot of funny stuff, so I believe
Well,
he's
welcome.
a Marine. So if not, then he posts a lot of Marine stuff. So
You know, this is the way, you know, our year ended in 2023. So in 2024, Chad and I have been talking behind the scenes off and on. We're going to be doing independent shorts and independent breaking news as it comes out so that we can keep you more informed here at Truck It. We
Very much
want
so.
the truth to be known this year. And yeah, we'll probably be shadow banned and we'll probably be attacked. But you know what? If we don't start standing up and getting the real stuff out there, our country's going to be lost.
yeah,
And
the
we don't
border's
want
just
that.
part of it. The border's just part of it. So, like they were saying, these kids are being brought into slaughterhouses, restaurants, all kinds of stuff like that to pay off their tabs or to pay off their fees. And that's not the only, it's not just the women and kids doing it. It's the men and everybody else, because they still have a fee to pay off for getting the cartel to bring them through. So, I mean,
And
they
you know,
charge-
there's more to it than that, because, you know, when you see the news talking about, you know, whoa, there's part of the list.
There's part of the list. Sam, you're trying to bring us on to another hour on here, but we're gonna have to sign off soon. So,
Well, most of those names on there, I am not surprised about. Really not.
yeah, Susie says what this world needs is a few more rednecks. So I think that's his country song. So
Hey, rednecks ain't bad. I grew up with them.
I grew up with them, so
We're pretty tough and we will survive, just like the song says.
So,
Oh,
Charlie Daniels. Okay, yeah.
absolutely.
I would play it, but
That's the
I'm
man.
afraid we'd get kicked off.
We'll
at
get
the-
a copyright. We'll get a copyright strike on that. We don't have permission for it, but yeah.
My mom said that she's one of the rednecks. My stepdad is definitely a redneck. I'd say he's my real dad, but that way I can define the difference if I'm talking bad about anything growing up. So, oh man.
Oh, there's some more.
Susie said it is a song. So yeah, Dion
Country
said it's
Boy
Charlie
Will
Daniels.
Survive.
Susie confirmed. No, it's not a country boy can survive. There's actually a song called "What This World Needs Is a Few More Rednecks" by
Yep.
Charlie Daniels. So Sam's over here really trying to get us keep going with even more because I see he's only going. I see he's listing them alphabetically, and he's up to M. So
Hey, as long as we get them out there, it will be there for posterity. They may take down the list tomorrow, but if we got the list on here tonight, we have a way to go back and retrack our tracks.
So Sam, I'll
So
start.
thank
tagging
you, Sam.
Whenever we do a show, so it comes on the logbook page too. So that might be where you're watching from. Probably
Hey.
is where you're watching from. So
Well, it's been almost an hour and a half.
yeah, we're usually on an hour, but might
Yeah.
be why we have to split up shows into doing 2 shows or something like that.
So, Chad, what's your New Year's resolution?
One, I'm going to quit drinking. I've already started on that, or at least not drink near as much. I need to get up and get exercising. Me and my
I
whole
agree.
family need to get off the dang computer and go exercising. If I 2 hours, drive to the gym, 30 minutes, do exercising, drive home, something like that. 2 hours out of my day, I could quit watching Facebook or YouTube videos and stuff about people crossing the border. Probably to eat healthier would probably be another good New Year's resolution.
Hey, you're stealing all mine.
I'm sorry.
But
Go
yeah,
to the damn
mine,
doctors and get some of my stuff fixed. Like my guts need fixing. So
alkaline water, sir. Start drinking it. Help me.
I don't know if it helped me or not. But anyway, my friend Bad Intro on here said something a while back to me saying that holy water is something that it said that doctors have actually said that drinking holy water improves your health. So I don't know. Would holy water be alkaline water?
It could be.
Bad
Could
Intro
be.
could probably answer that if he's still on here. So, but
That's right,
anyway,
Sam. Move it or lose it.
yeah,
There you go. Words to live by. Move it or lose it. That's my theme for this year. Move it or lose it. Unfortunately, I want to lose a lot of it. I still got a lot more I want to, I got a lot more weight I want to lose. I want to get a lot healthier and maybe even look into maybe a new career. We'll
Yeah,
see
I
how
need
that
to-
goes.
I'll see how that goes too. So I definitely need to get a.
But here
Good
at Truckett, we definitely want to see this show grow.
And
We
Bad
want to
Intro
see.
respond- Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Sally. Yeah, I'd
Well-
love for our show to grow more. Bad Intro said a retired surgeon at the end of his career said, holy water is the best thing you can do for your body. He doesn't understand why, but he said he lives by it. So
Well, there you go.
and then we get holy water is the best. They boil off the hell of it. I'll show myself out. So.
Don Leon, your trip, man. Your trip. Producing.
All right. Well,
But
I
we
stole
love
all
y'all.
I stole all your New Year's resolutions, so I guess we'll show our way out of it too. So
We love you, folks.
we love
And
you.
just
Thanks,
remember-
everybody, for coming tonight.
And just remember, sometimes you just have to say, truck it.
Truck it. Have a good night, everybody. Thank
We'll
you for
see you
coming,
next
and
week.
we'll see you next week.